Because like you don't have to go to school and then you can wake up later.
Actually, I have to agree with you there. And I'm probably assuming, it was probably a big assumption, that parents also enjoy that as well, because we don't need to do the school run. So that is also quite nice. So if obviously we're kind of not working, or we're able to have a bit of a lie-in, that is definitely perfect. But I do obviously remind my children that they don't want to always be sleeping too late, because obviously then the routine gets a little bit messed up. What do you agree? Or do you,
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a little bit? Okay. And do you have a lot of homework to do this week?
Not that much.
Not that much. Okay. Have you already started your homework?
Yeah.
See, that's what we want to hear. We would like to know that homework is getting done, and not always, at the last minute. But, I was definitely like that. I probably still am a bit of a last minute person, and end up trying to rush my homework on the last day of holidays. So maybe that's a bit of good advice to any children or young people listening. Take little chunks and do a little bit every day. That way, you don't have to, get overwhelmed by the end of the week. But right, okay, so this is the book club show. I am joined by Zahra, and we're going to talk about some of the books that she's recently reading, and potentially what she's got on her to be read pile as well. So Zahra, which book shall we start off with this morning? So can you tell us which book you want to talk about today, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the book's about, what you enjoyed about it, whether you'd recommend it. So what's the first book we're going to talk about?
The first book we're going to be talking about is called Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun by Chola Okoku.
Fantastic. Okay, that's Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun. Okay, I love the title already. So can you read the blurb just to give our listeners an idea of what this book is about?
There is no one like Onyeka. Onyeka's hair is extraordinary. It makes strangers stop in the street. When she discovers that she can control her hair with her mind, what once was an insecurity now becomes a superpower. Onyeka is whisked off to the Academy of the Sun, a school in Nigeria where Solari, children with powers, are trained. But soon, Onyeka and her new friends find themselves caught up in an epic battle, one that puts the future of all Solari at risk.
That sounds super, super awesome as a story. I love the book cover as well. So the book cover you can see is a young Black girl who's got this super amazing hair, and it's all in, there's kind of a gold and orange background. There's a boy and two other girls, and you can see there's some sort of kind of superpower involved. And it actually says the little kind of a subtitle on the book cover, her superpower will change the world. Okay, so why did you decide to read this book in particular? Like, is it something you're particularly interested in, or did you just come across it and you wanted to read it?
I think I quite like the cover because it's like really shiny, and then like I thought that it'd be kind of a cool book.
Okay, fantastic. So then tell me, what are some of the things that you enjoy? Like, have you read this book then? You finished reading, or you're in the middle of reading it?
I finished reading it.
Okay then. So in that case, what are some of the things that you liked about this book then, or the story?
I liked the book because like the superhero isn't like one that you'd normally think of.
Mhm.
Like normally you'd think having these superpowers like it's meant to be, but like this was like something that happened, like a bad thing that happened, and it made them get the superpower. So like instead of it just like being a completely good thing, it was like a bad thing happened, and this is like the consequence of it.
Right. Okay. So it's not that her hair is always kind of this superpower. It's something that happens, but then that leads on to the story. Okay, that's really, really interesting. Okay, and then what kind of if it's about like a superpower, is it like a supernatural type of book? Does it talk about like lots of magical stuff, or is it just yeah.
It's not all magical, but like it's like a magical technology, like technology that we haven't thought of yet.
Oh, I see. So it's not. So is this book meant to be set in the future, or it's meant to be just normal?
No, it's meant to be normal, but like there's like this special place in Nigeria where like they have like really cool stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like Wakanda.
Oh, like Wakanda. Oh, I see. Like the Marvel film. Oh, I see. It's interesting. So it's the place. It's where it's set as well is meant to be different, interesting, fantastic. Okay. So what is it? What's special other than obviously on Yenka, who I assume is the main protagonist? What other than obviously her superpower? What is an interesting thing about the character that the author's written? Like, what do you like?
I like it because you don't normally get like loads of books about like black people, and then like there's not always books that have them as the main protagonist. So this made me think a bit differently for like the book. And like at the end there's like an author's note, and then like it talks and then she like agrees with that. Like she's like that not a lot of people get that. Like not a lot of people like the hair that like Afro hair, and that's why she has like a hair company for that, so people can look after their hair.
Oh, amazing. Fantastic. And that's absolutely true. Because you definitely, yeah, I mean, even when I guess was growing up, all the books, I wouldn't see myself, I guess, in books. And obviously we talk a lot about representation and how important it is for all people and all children to be able to have their experiences reflected in books. So that could be the way you look, or the way you dress, or maybe the food that you eat. So that's really great to hear that the author obviously has kind of made that note in the back as well. And I also noticed actually in the back of the book there's like a glossary type thing, which says Nigerian Pidgin English. So what is that about then?
So basically, one of the main protagonist's friends, called Hassan. So he can speak like normally, but then I think his brother, he taught him how to speak Pidgin English. So it's basically kind of like an accent type thing, but like they speak differently. So like a few words are like for like they might say like how far, which means what's up or hi, and then they might say like wetting, which means like what. Yeah, so like they say things slightly differently. Yeah, and like that, like that's how he represents himself.
Okay, so did you learn about where Pidgin English came from? Like it's a language in its own right. So yeah, for someone who maybe speaks English, i.e., if you're, let's say, from Britain, you might listen or hear Pidgin English and thinks it's not the same, or it's not normal, even though of course it is a real language. And so did you learn much about the book, about where it originated from?
No, we didn't really learn that much about it, but like I still found it quite fascinating.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's interesting is actually in the back of the book, it explains a little bit. So for anyone who doesn't know what Nigerian Pidgin English is, it's great that it explains it. So it says it's a language spoken widely across Nigeria, much of West Africa, in various forms. It is a mix of English and local languages, which enables people who do not share a common language to communicate. It originates from the late 17th and 18th centuries during the transatlantic slave trade. So it was originally used by British slave merchants and local African traders, and then spread to the rest of the West African colonies. So though not currently recognized as an official language, it is estimated that up to 75 million people in Nigeria use it today. So that's really interesting. And the fact they've got a bit of a glossary. So, Zahra mentioned a couple of the words. But I think this is just another example of the fact that what kind of the slave trade and colonization and all of the kind of history of the British Empire had on obviously the world as it is today. And obviously it's something, we need to really kind of acknowledge that even when it comes to language and the power of language and how language can be used as a tool, even I guess, in a in a way to subdue, I guess, other people. So obviously when, you know, we talk about colonization, and especially from British colonization, to go into another country in order for you to feel superior and to show that, you know, you believe yourself to be superior, one of the things is to kind of enforce your language on other people. And, you know, obviously, so that's a whole, I guess, different conversation. But I think it's great that children are able to read this book and kind of learn a little bit about that as well. And also, I think I do remember, so this book, Zara, am I right in remembering that this book was from the No Ordinary Bookshop?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing for listeners and parents and carers. If you are listening in, and obviously, you know, being based in Luton, the No Ordinary Bookshop is situated in the Luton indoor market, and it's a really amazing, beautiful little bookshop. And the best thing is you are able to grab hold of books that you wouldn't normally maybe find on kind of shelves in kind of the high street, you know, bookshops and stuff. And Angel, who's the founder of No Ordinary Bookshop. So it's kind of dedicated to books by writers of the global majority, specifically Black writers as well. And it's always really good in order to diversify the books that are on our own shelves. So if there are certain books or certain authors that you haven't read, I would definitely recommend going into No Ordinary Bookshop and having a look at some of the selection of books there. So Zahra was talking about Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun. That's been written by Tola Okogwu. And is this a series, a book, is this in a series of books, or is it just a one-off book?
It's not like a series of book, but like there's like a sequel to it, and which is good because it's coming out on this February. So now I can ask my mum to get it as soon as possible.
Oh, and by my mum, you mean like me?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, I'm glad that you're letting everybody or the listeners know before you told me that you like it. But that's fine. I'm happy to invest in your books. So the next, so the what's the name of the next book that's going to be coming out then?
So the next one is going to be called Onyeka and the Legacy of the Solari.
Oh, nice. Okay. So what is who are the Solari? Are they in this first book as well?
Yeah, so the Solari are basically like the superpower people. It's like they're the people with the superpowers that have got it. So then instead of calling them like the heroes or something, they call them the Solari.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's kind of, so does it have anything to do with the sun? Because of the Solari comes from like the word solar. Is there a connection there?
I think so, but I think there's not really got to do anything with the sun, but I think it's kind of like got to do like a little bit like shining.
Shining, or something being really, I guess, big and strong, like the sun, you know, maybe, but that's a kind of cool name. I like Solari. So just to then go back to a little bit about the author, Tola Okogwu, is a British Nigerian author, journalist, and haircut educator. She was born in Lagos in Nigeria, but raised in London, England. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism. Having spent several years exploring the world of blogging, haircut, and freelance writing, she finally returned to her first love, fiction. She's the author of Daddy Do My Hair picture book series, as well as Aziza's Secret Fairy Door under the pen name Lola Moreo. Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun is her first middle grade book. Tola now lives in Kent with her husband and two daughters, an avid reader and lover of music. She's also a sucker for melted cheese. Okay, so I love that little blog by the author, or about the author, Tola Okogwu. Once again, that was Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun. You can grab a copy from No Ordinary Bookshop or any other places online. So thank you, Zahra, for your first book that you've picked for today's show. So we've got time we've got about 5 minutes before we're heading over to the break. So what is the next book that you'd want to talk about today? So Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun is a book that you've just recently read. And what is the next book you want to talk about today?
The next book that I'd like to talk about is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. by J.K. Rowling.
Right. Okay. So Harry Potter fans, obviously, I'm sure if you're listening, you would have read, obviously, Harry Potter. I think I did mention actually on the last show that I did, I've not actually had the pleasure of reading any of the Harry Potter books. It was just one of those things when I was younger. I think I didn't maybe find it too interesting, reading a book about kind of fantasy and magic. I wasn't kind of into that stuff. And then even when I got older, it's something that I just haven't got around to reading. And I think I would like to read it. I mean, it's great that Zara's been reading them. It means we've got the books at home, so they are accessible to me. I guess I just need to find the time. But right, okay, so Zahra, what is it particularly then about Harry Potter books that you like and enjoy?
I like it because it's like fantasy, so then there's you can it doesn't really stop your imagination at like a point, so like you can keep on dreaming about it.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you want to read for any of our listeners who maybe haven't read the book, or maybe they've read the book and just as a reminder, read the blurb at the back?
There it was, hanging in the sky above the school. The blazing green skull with a serpent tongue, the mark Death Eaters left behind whenever they had entered a building, wherever they had murdered. When Dumbledore arrives at Pivot Drive one summer night to collect Harry Potter, his wand hand is blackened and shriveled, but he does not reveal why. Secrets and suspicion are spreading through the wizarding world, and Hogwarts itself is not safe. Harry is convinced that Malfoy bears the dark mark. There's a Death Eater amongst them. Harry Potter will need powerful magic and true friends as he explores Voldemort's darkest secrets, and Dumbledore prepares him to face his destiny.
Nice. So which number book is this from the series?
This is book 6.
Okay, book 6. Nice. Okay. So tell me, how long has it taken you to get up to reading book 6? When did you start reading Harry Potter books?
I started reading in year 4.
In year 4, and now you are in?
Year 6.
Year 6. Okay. All right. So what is it about? I mean, actually, this is probably for me to say. So I know there's lots of parents who have maybe sometimes reservations when it comes to Harry Potter books. I mean, me personally, because I haven't read them, it's mostly about what I've kind of know about them. I mean, I've watched the films. I know that doesn't really count. I know it's not something I should necessarily be advocating for on the book club show. So always, always, always read the books. However, obviously, sometimes there are films about the books, which are always interesting to watch as well. So I have seen the films, and I think one of my concerns was that actually it gets quite dark, because obviously we're talking about magic. I think some of the themes they get kind of a bit darker as you progress through the books. So it was my own kind of a suggestion to Zahra that if you kind of spread out the reading of the books. So that means that, yes, so she started reading the first book. What is the first book called again?
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay, so yes, so Zara was in year 4 when she started reading that. So I think, the idea was that maybe read a couple of books each year, so that way by the time she gets to now like book 6 and then eventually book 7, obviously she's a bit more older, so you're able to, I mean, in my own opinion anyway, maybe as a young person able to deal with more darker themes. But yes, so that was the kind of, but that's my own preference, as a parent. Obviously people and, parents will kind of think differently. But if you are there and you want to maybe, or your children are saying that they're really interested in wanting to start reading Harry Potter, that's just one of the things maybe just to keep in mind, that if you do want to spread them out, it's very easy to be able to do that. And you can obviously discuss that with your children as well. So right, now coming back to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So this is book 6. So there's 7 books in total, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And what is it then in particular about this kind of book and storyline that you enjoyed?
I kind of enjoyed it because there was a lot of mystery in it, and like with all of the Harry Potter books, there's like a twist. Yeah, so like there's always like a massive build up to them, and then like it gets like really suspenseful. That's why I think it was good to like space them out. Right. Because like it does it does get darker, but so like there was quite a lot of suspense in this one. So I think book 6 is my favorite.
Oh, really? So out of the books so far, book 6 is your favorite?
Yeah, I think it's the
Yeah.
most emotional one as well.
Oh, is it the most emotional? Okay, but
Yeah.
obviously we're not going to give any spoilers. I mean, I haven't read it anyway, but obviously, but yeah, so without giving the spoilers, you've thought it was quite an emotional book. Right, okay. So that is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. So thank you, Zahra, for sharing a little bit about that. So on today's show, I am joined by Zahra. We're talking about some kind of books for younger readers. We'll talk about another 2 books in the second half of the show. At the moment, obviously, you just heard a bit about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and before that, it was Onyenka and Academy of the Sun by Tolu Okogwu. In the second half of the show, Zahra's got another couple of books that we'll talk about, and then I'll kind of maybe mention a little bit about a couple of books that I also like, which are written for younger readers. But in the meantime, obviously, please grab yourselves maybe a drink or coffee and maybe some biscuits, and we will be back in a few moments. So see you very soon. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1.
Hi, my name is Fatima. I'm from Project Ribcage. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. It's all under Project Ribcage. We also have a website, projectribcage.com. Our message for today is, if not you, then who? Keep listening to Inspire FM.
You don't have to go to Pakistan to enjoy the finest Asian food. Enjoy a great choice of authentic cuisine at Little Lahore Tandoori Restaurant and Takeaway in Dunstable. With mouth-watering chicken, lamb, veg and fish dishes, chursi karahi, nihari, mixed grill, platters and for so much more, the Little Lahore Restaurant also has a separate hall for private parties for up to 50 people at 2 Nicholas Way, LU6 1TD. Or order via Deliveroo, Uber Eats or Just Eat. We also provide external catering. For more information, call 01582 353 983. That's Little Lahore for the finest Pakistani cuisine.
Did you see that guy on TV?
What, that no comment guy?
Yeah, he was sick. What was his name?
I think it was Atiq Malik.
Yeah, Atiq Malik of Liberty Law Solicitors. Atiq Malik heads up the criminal law team at Liberty Law Solicitors, specialising in everything from serious crime down to road traffic offences.
To find out more or for a free telephone consultation, call 01582 459955.
Liberty Law, there when you need us most.
Crescent Hall, a large, elegant venue in the heart of Luton. As well as a grand banqueting hall, Crescent Hall provides you with kitchen facilities, a bridal room, a family room, as well as a prayer room. Ideal for conferences, weddings, mehndi and engagement parties. We have ample parking for guests. Our rates are highly competitive. Contact us today for a personalised quote. Call us on 01582 72 33 86. For further information, visit us at www.crescenthall.co.uk or email us at info@crescenthall.co.uk. Crescent Hall, adding comfort and style to your event.
अगर आप अकाउंट्स या टैक्स की वजह से परेशान हैं तो घबराने की कोई बात नहीं। आज ही मुकम्मल राजदारी से हमारे साथ अपने तमाम मसाइल बुक कीपिंग, पेरोल, वीएटी, टैक्सी अकाउंट्स, लिमिटेड कंपनी बनाना वगैरह के लिए राब्ता कायम कीजिए। हमारे मशवरे और खिदमत से आपको खुशी और तसल्ली महसूस होगी। याद रखें, अब्दुल कयूम ऑफ ए कयूम अकाउंटेंट्स लिमिटेड, 4A Waldeck Road, Luton. Telephone 01582 755252. Mobile 07961 188616. Email aq.accountants@hotmail.co.uk.
Did you know that over 361,000 children die every year due to lack of clean water? Clean water is not a luxury, but a basic human right. UKIM is working to end their suffering. By providing clean and safe water, make a difference. Provide clean and safe water with UKIM. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
Oh, Hilary, I was going to use newspaper display advertising.
But
it costs £10 per inch.
And that's too expensive.
Oh, indeed it is. I want to sell a 10-foot ladder.
Roger. Invest in an ear-catching advertising campaign on this radio station instead. It's a great way to tell people about your products and service.
For details, click on inspirefm.org, then advertise. From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Book Club Show.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Book Club Show on Inspire 105.1 FM. My name is Imrana Mahmood and today we are doing a 2022 book review of all the various books that we've read. And in the first half of the show, I was joined by Samia and Khairun, who are still with me. And we spoke a little bit about a book that we all read, which is called We Are All Birds of Uganda by Hafsa Zayan, which we read as part of Dar Amna Book Club. We also then mentioned the reading list and a couple other books as well. There was including Head Above Water. So hopefully what I'm hoping is by the end of today's show, that everybody listening in, you'll have a nice list for 2023 that you can kind of add. And what we will do is near the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit about the books we are currently reading.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Book Club Show on Inspire 105.1 FM. I am going to suggest that Brother Tariq in the online studio has a really big, massive cup of coffee because unfortunately, I know there was a little bit of a technical error there and the repeat started playing, so apologies for that. I hope there is not much confusion. We are back live and I am in the, kind of virtual studio online. I'm doing the show today. Obviously, it is half term. And in the first half of the show, we were talking about the two books by Zahra, who is my guest today. And the first one was Onyenka and the Academy of the Sun, written by Tolu Okogwu. And the other book was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. And Zahra was just talking a little bit about what she's enjoyed about those books. And hopefully, because it is the holidays and, children and young people are at home today, not at school in most places, we thought it'd be really nice just to talk about kind of books for younger readers. Maybe it'll give you an idea of what you might be able to read maybe during the holiday or even, for 2023, because I always love kind of book recommendations and things and suggestions that are, for books that I can read to add to my list. Right, so coming back to Zahra then, what is the next book that you'd like to talk about today?
The next book is a heartwarming story of one boy's experience of lockdown, which is called Max Counts to a Million by Jeremy Williams.
Fantastic. Okay, so can you read the blurb at the back so we have an idea what this book is about?
Do you like epic quests of amazing counting? Do you dislike global pandemics and being stuck at home and the number 7? Then I have a story for you. It's about how I counted to 1 million during lockdown with help from mum and dad, friends, neighbours and granddad, and some birds, and a bucket of marbles and an awesome TV reporter. This funny, poignant story reflects the experience shared by so many during the COVID pandemic and celebrates how sometimes just keeping on going makes you a hero.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's Max Counts to a Million by Jeremy Williams. And yes, it just says a little subheading that this is a heartwarming story of one boy's experience of lockdown, and sometimes just keeping on going makes you a hero. Fantastic. So that book, this funny, poignant story. So do you know what poignant means?
No.
Okay, so poignant is basically when there is a story or something that you hear, which you think it's kind of really important, but it also kind of is quite touching and moving. That it kind of, I guess, has an effect on you in a really profound way. I mean, that's not obviously the actual definition, but that's how I understand the meaning of poignant. So it's something that makes you really reflect and it has like an effect on you, but it's also kind of something really important. So that's Max Counts to a Million. So what did you, I guess, think about this book? Like, did you enjoy it? Have you finished reading it, or are you still reading it?
I'm still reading it. I'm about halfway through. But the reason I quite like this book is quite different to it's quite unique because not a lot of books talk about the pandemic and stuff. So this one made me think a lot more about how it was, how other people felt as well as me.
Right.
During
Okay.
the pandemic.
Yeah. So, and what do you think that? So, do you think it was now that obviously we went through the pandemic and lockdown? Did you find it helpful to read the book, kind of reflecting on that time, or was it difficult?
Yeah, kind of, because it kind of makes me feel like, oh, there's someone else was feeling the way I felt during lockdown.
Okay, which is what? Can you kind of explain some
It's
of that?
kind of like soothing, kind of.
Soothing. Okay, right. So, what were the kind of some of the things you had during lockdown that you felt you were able to see in this book as well?
Basically, in the story, so his granddad, I guess the coronavirus, and then he's not allowed to see him. And then he was gonna have an epic birthday party, but because everyone had to social distance and stuff, he wasn't able to have that party, and he'd been going on about it for months. Yeah, and then he was really sad. So then so they're kind of related to me because my grandparents got the coronavirus as well. So then I could kind of relate to it because he was really worried about his granddad. So I could kind of relate to that. And also I wasn't able to see anyone, any of my family during lockdown. So it was kind of sad because it was kind of lonely and boring.
Yeah. Okay. So that's and is that what Max then obviously kind of experiences in the book as well?
Yeah, it's really boring. Yeah, and that's why I think one of the reasons that he started counting.
Oh, I see.
Because he was really bored, and then he thought about something. But the main bit was about because his mum. Yeah, normally, when he gets angry or something, he counts to at least 100, and then he feels better. But then then his mum said count to 100, and he said I'll count to 1,000,000, and that's how it kind of started. So we started counting, yeah, and now about where I am, so 100 and 180. Yeah, now he's got to about 500,000, and he kind of wants to stop. But we'll see if he wants to keep going or not.
So that conversation about counting to 100, and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to count to 1,000,000." Did he say that because he was angry or annoyed?
Yeah, because he was kind of annoyed at his mom. So then, and his dad wasn't there because he is a doctor, so he had to have to stay in a hotel near the hospital. So then he has to do shifts and stuff now. So he couldn't see his dad, so it was just him and his mom. Yeah, and that's why he got angry at his mum. So then, yeah, that happened.
Oh, I see. Okay. But then wouldn't counting to 1,000,000 take a long, long time? So is that what the book is about? It's about his experience of counting to 1,000,000. Does he spend the whole day counting, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically, they said in the morning they do an hour lesson of actual school work. Yeah, and then in the afternoon they would count. And then they calculated about it takes 62 days, so about 2 months
to count to 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 2 minutes, but that's at a regular everyday type thing. Yeah, so he'd have to do it every day, and he'd at least have to do, I think he said about 10,000 at least a day or something. He'd have to do quite a lot a day. Yeah, but he was finding it really hard, and he wasn't sure. He thought it'd take more than 62 days because, as you count, yeah, the numbers get longer. It's if you count to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But let's say do 1,101, 1,002, 1,102. It takes longer.
And then obviously when you get to 160 something, then obviously,
so then it gets really hard. But then but then in the book it tells he finds out a way, a different way of doing it,
like a technique, or
technique to make it quicker.
Right. Okay. And then in the story, are there any other characters? Because it says here in the back that he has help from his dad's friends and neighbors. So how do they? Or birds. It says even birds as well. So how?
I'm not sure about the birds yet.
Okay.
But the granddad, he helps a lot, and the family is supporting of him. Yeah, but then his friends. Yeah. So like, cause his name is Max. Yeah. It's like X. Yeah. So then he has like this type of like Team X thing. So like some of his friends are called Alex. And then there's like a few others like Felix, and those are his friends, and then he calls them Team X. Yeah. And then there's this like stuff. Yeah. And then like it's kind of sad because he also has a rival team which is called Team Z.
Oh, okay. Who are also counting?
No.
Oh,
so like they're just because he has like these teams. Yeah. And then he doesn't like Z, which is sad.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that would be sad, isn't it? Then?
Yeah.
For you especially.
He calls them that we cheat.
He said people, it was the Team Z cheat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you sure it's not your sister who's in this other team, who says the Team Z cheat?
I don't know.
No, okay. I thought maybe your sister's involved.
There's this other boy called Xavier. It's like with an X, but he says that technically he's in Team Z because you don't say Xavier. You say Xavier.
Right. Okay. Because of the sound. That's right. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that is obviously Max counts to 1 million. So what else then is it about? Is this a book that you'd potentially like recommend? I know you haven't finished reading it, but would you say that maybe other children who've obviously, because we've all experienced lockdown, do you think it'd be something good for people to read? Or?
Yeah, I think it'd be quite a good thing because like it makes you think a lot more about it, and then like it helps you like kind of cope with it. So I think this is like a really good book because it's quite unique and like it helps you understand it more, and then like you can go back on what happened like in the pandemic. So then like you might read something, you think, oh, that's like that's what happened to me, and then like you can relate back to it when like the pandemic happened.
Right. Okay. And do they talk much? Is the book? Does it talk much about the kind of the science kind of stuff about pandemic or the coronavirus? Does it go into that, or it's not really about?
It kind of goes into that, like about the social distancing, and then like the news, and then like that stuff, and then it also goes a little bit into like not seeing people and stuff. Like it's kind of a little bit about that, but that's not like the main storyline.
Yeah.
But it's like a backstory.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, amazing. Okay, so that definitely does sound quite like a different type of book, and I guess it's even more relatable because it's something quite recent, isn't it? Because it's just something that happened like 2-3 years ago, and we're all kind of still kind of dealing with the impact of it, because obviously a lot of people's lives changed. Obviously people experience a lot of kind of loss in their families, and I think so maybe it is something people can potentially read. Would you say it might even be a good book for an adult to read as well?
Like if like you're finding it like really hard, like let's say like you've had loss or something because of like like this could help you a lot. Like just to make sure like to help you feel better. Yes, so I think it's like a really good book for any age.
Okay, all right.
Like it might be a little bit of an easier read, like if you're a little bit older, but like if you're younger, it's like just as good.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, so that is Max Counts to 1 Million by Jeremy Williams. Thank you for sharing that. Well, shall we move on to what is your next book that you wanted to talk about today?
So the next book I want to talk about is called Journey to the River Sea by Eva Ibbotson. So I'd like to read this book because we started reading like a little extract from it when I was in year 5. So I thought that, I really love to read this book. Yeah, so like at the end of the year, our teacher really liked books. So then she gave each one of us like a book and we could pick it. So I chose this book. And it's like it looks quite cool, like the cover of it. Yeah, and I also learned something from this book. So like the River Sea, like you might not know what that is, but the River Sea is basically another word for the Amazon River. Yeah, so like it's called Amazon River. It's called the River Sea because it's like a really big river and it holds like the most water in the world.
Fantastic. Okay. Did you want to read the blurb? I mean, you're right. It's a really, really beautiful cover. It's kind of like a maroon type kind of border at the spine. It's then got a lighter, it's pink or I don't know, actually, it's so in terracotta. It's kind of lighter there. Yeah, maybe like a tea pink. And there's like one big blue butterfly with kind of black, with a black border. There's a smaller butterfly, an orange one, which has kind of black stripes on it.
It kind of looks like a little bit like a journal, like an old type of journal.
Yes, so they've made the cover look like that. There's also kind of like a faded stamp here that says Brazil. And the book itself is the winner of the Smarties Book Prize Gold Award. So yeah, that sounds really amazing. It's been written by Eva Ibbotson. So it was also shortlisted for the Carnegie Medal. Yeah, I've read that correctly. Okay, so just for our listeners, do you want to read the blurb of the book?
The girls in Maya's class told her what to expect when she reached the Brazilian jungle. There are huge mosquitoes which bite you. You turn as yellow as a lemon and then you die. But Maya, an orphan, can't wait to start the long sea voyage. She is to begin a new life with relatives she has never met, 1,000 miles up the Amazon River. And Maya's classmates could never, even in their wildest dreams, imagine the adventures that await for her on the shores of the River Sea. And then one of the like the quotes is like one of my top 10 all-time favorite books by Anne Fine, children's laureate.
Interesting. Okay. So do you remember, you mentioned that this is a book that you read an excerpt from in year 5. Do you remember what the excerpt was from the book? Was it the start or
it was like the start bit?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like about like how she would like she's in a boarding school type thing. Yeah, and then like she's in that school and then she gets like a message that like some of her relatives, her dad's relatives, they're willing to take her like in as their child. So then she was like really excited. But then she found out that they're going to the Amazon River, like they live there. So then, like she did some research with her friends, and then and her friends found some really scary stuff, like all the bad bits. But then she found some really lovely bits. Yeah, and like she said that she still wants to go. Yeah, and then she has like a mentor. Like what they call like the tutor type things.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And then then the tutor goes with her and goes on a voyage.
Interesting. Do you want to read some of the first chapter, or maybe I don't know if there's any particular one that you want to read?
Chapter 1. It was a good school, one of the best in London. Miss Banks and her sister Emily believed that girls should be taught as thoroughly and as carefully as boys. They had bought 3 houses in a quiet square, a pleasant place with plain trees and well-behaved pigeons, and put up a brass plate saying, "The Mayfair Academy for Young Ladies." And they had prospered. For while the sisters prized proper learning, they also prized good manners, thoughtfulness, and care for others, and the girls learned both algebra and needlework. Moreover, they took in children whose parents were abroad and needed somewhere to spend the holidays. Now, some 30 years later, in the autumn of 1910, the school had a waiting list, and those girls who went there knew how lucky they were. All the same, there were times when they were very bored. Miss Carlyle was giving a geography lesson in the big classroom which faced the street. She was a good teacher, but even the best teachers had some trouble trying to make rivers of southern England seem unusual and exciting. Now, can anyone tell me the exact source of the River Thames? She asked. She passed her eyes along the row of desks, missed the plump Hermione, the worried-looking Daisy, and stopped by a girl in the front row. "Don't chew the end of your pigtail," she was about to say, but she did not say it. There was a day when this particular girl had a right to chew the curved ends of her heavy plait of hair. Maya had seen Marie in a Maya had seen the motor stop outside the door, had seen old Mr. Murray in his velvet-collared coat go into the house. Mr. Murray was Maya's guardian, and today, as everyone knew, he was bringing news about her future.
Fantastic. That's really, really well read. And yeah, that's quite an interesting, I think, opening of a book. So it already sets the scene about this particular kind of school, and the fact that, obviously the main protagonist, her life is potentially about to change. So this is a journey to the River Sea by Eva Ibbotson. So you mentioned that this is a book that you got from your teacher, at school. Now, what is it in particular that, do you feel like school gives you plenty of opportunities to read books you would normally read, or, encourages reading?
They have quite good options. Yeah, in the library there's loads as well. But I think there could be more different books because they're more of the same books. Yeah, the same type of books. Like for example, they could have more the Anyeka and the Academy of the Sun, or and I think schools need more money, so then they can get more books, because we have a book club at school, and then it's quite hard to find new books to read because we don't there's not enough money. Yeah, we don't have enough money to buy new books. So we were thinking of someone sponsoring, but we're not sure yet.
Okay, but that's really great that you have a book club in school. So that's kind of extra to the normal reading that you would do.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And what is it that you enjoy about being part of a book club? Why did you join your book club in school?
I like having a book club because it's kind of cool because you're doing the same book. Yeah, and then you can share all your thoughts about the book, and everyone kind of knows can relate to that. Yeah, and then normally if you talk to someone about a book who hasn't read the book, then it's not the same because they're oh, okay, but they don't really know what you're talking about. But when someone has read the book that you've read, then you can say, oh yeah, that's what happened, and then that stuff.
It's just nice to be able to relate to each other in the book. And
yeah.
And how is it, for example, sometimes you read a book and you maybe two people have different opinion about a book, or how does that work?
When someone else tells me their opinion on the book, it kind of makes me think about it, and then I'm thinking oh yeah, that's they're right. Yeah, and then I kind of get their thoughts, and then it's kind of nice to hear other people's thoughts.
Okay, and how do you feel though? Let's say there's a book that you really liked, or there's a particular, and then someone else says, "Oh God, I hated it. I didn't like that, or I didn't enjoy it." How does that work then?
I
in a book club?
Disagree with them, but I wouldn't tell them, "Oh no, you're wrong." I'd respect their opinion, but I'd still think that it would be the best book ever.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like the right way to kind of handle that. And then just generally then, what do you enjoy about reading? So obviously today you've talked about kind of 4 different books that you've either recently read or you're planning to read. So yeah, what is it that you enjoy about reading?
I kind of like it, especially fantasy books and fiction books, because you can set your imagination free then, and then you can imagine anything, and that's why I like writing books, because then you can give your thoughts and imagination, and then you can write about your imagination, and that's kind of cool, and then it kind of helps me.
Okay, so you enjoy reading, you're part of the book club, but then that also helps the fact that you enjoy writing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does it help you? You just said something about it, it kind of helps me.
Yeah.
With your imagination, or something more?
It helps me express my imagination.
To express it. Okay, amazing. So if there's anybody, other children or young people listening who maybe they haven't got many plans like this holidays to read, how would you kind of advise them on how to get into reading maybe just during this half term?
Like let's say you don't like this type of book, like let's say you don't like non-fiction books, then obviously don't look for like non-fiction books, then like have a really good look in like bookstores like the No Ordinary Bookshop or like something like that. Like you can like look for those type of places, and then you might be able to find the book just for you, because there used to be this person and they didn't really used to like reading, but when they found the right book, then they started love reading. Because like they found the book that they love, and then like that's like the main part, that you need to find a book that you like the type of book, and then like you're kind of like set free on a reading journey.
Your reading journey. Yeah, exactly. And then also, I know you mentioned bookshops, but also there's obviously libraries are a really, really important kind of asset that we have. We, especially in Luton, there's so many different libraries that we're able to access, and it's always really great to support your library. You can go in and just, it's amazing the fact that you're able to go into a space and literally just pick a book, right? You're just able to say, actually, there's a new book, or there's a particular type of book that I want to read. So definitely support, your local library. And that's also a really good way to support the authors as well, because obviously every time you take a book out on loan, they also receive some of that money. So that was a wonderful session with Zahra. Thank you so much for your time today, talking about all these amazing and lovely books. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with a new book and a new guest. In the meantime, please do keep us in your du'as. Assalamu alaikum.
एक वक्फे के बाद साबरा हुसैन पेश करेंगी दीनी मालूमात पर मबनी प्रोग्राम दीन और दुनिया। सुनते रहिए इंस्पायर FM।